What's going on, Omnibuddies? Mitch here, and today we are looking at another book. What are we looking at? We are looking at Carl Barks' Diamond Jubilee Edition of Uncle Scrooge. All right, so first things first, this is in honor of the 75th anniversary of Uncle Scrooge's, Scrooge McDuck's first appearance, first cartoon, first drawing. Yeah, well, I guess not cartoon, like drawing cartoon, not like animated too. Anyways, this is the first one. This book is in glorious, like oversized hardcover format. In fact, let's get this out of and compare it to the Uncle Scrooge, the Scrooge McDuck Life and Times, which is giant also, just to give you an idea of scale. I mean, this book is enormous. This book is also enormous, but not quite as enormous, which, you know what, I'm okay with because both are just ginormous. Anyways, let's crack this open and see what it looks like. All right, so here is the front of the Uncle Scrooge Diamond Jubilee collection. Just to give you an idea of the scale of this, I know I kind of showed it a little bit earlier, but here is the Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck slipcase right here. So you can kind of see it's obviously a lot bigger and, you know, on width and height. And then this also is a slipcase, so you know it's got a little extra height on there from the slipcase. But here you go. So this one's more like black and gold. This one's more money colored, so that green and I don't know, whatever you want to call it, off-white, light green. I don't know, whatever color of US money, I guess is what we could call it. It's a sweet description. Anyways, so this is also, let's get this out of the way. So this is also a collection of different Scrooge stories. This is celebrating the 75th anniversary of Uncle Scrooge and his kind of being brought to life and brought into the world. And so this collects, this is 384 pages. It was, here's the spine. It was, it's published by Fantagraphics, and they did the Life and Times that I showed earlier too. There's the back, retails for $100 MSRP USD. Obviously, you can get that cheaper through Organic Price Books, so make sure to check it out there and use code Omnibuddy if you want to get a little bit cheaper too and support my channel. Anyways, let's crack this open. It has really glorious end sheets. I personally am just a huge sucker for end sheets and end paper, so it's not just, you know, black or green, but if they can make some awesome art out of that, I absolutely love it. So let's see what the other one looks like. It's the same. I appreciate when they change it up, but you know what? This is pretty cool. It's kind of like that old school wallpaper look, and looks really nice. And let's get this open. Just so you know, the dimensions of this book are 10 inches by 13.6 inches. So there you have it. Those are the actual dimensions from Fantagraphics. So you open this up, you know, Uncle Scrooge, and then you have the publisher page and all that, and then by Fantagraphics in Seattle, Washington. Woo! West side, west coast. That's right, in my neck of the woods near Seattle. And then we have the table of contents. So this is a collection. It's not like I mean, it's like chronological, yes, but it's not a whole bunch of stories in a row. It's a selection of stories to highlight all the different things from his stories throughout the years. So that's pretty cool what they did with that. And this is, so it's all the Carl Barks's stories, a bunch of them. And then what's really cool, they got a really nice forward in here, looking really nice. And then each story section has its the cover on it, which is cool. It's really nice decorative art around it, which is awesome. And then, yeah, so then you get into, I mean, the vast majority of this book is the stories, which I really appreciate. And man, these stories are just so cool to see again. Man, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, oh, they're so cute. They're so awesome. And going on adventures with, you know, Donald and Uncle Scrooge and all of them through all these, you know, crazy times, and, you know, with their bajillionaire crazy uncle. And then at the end of each section, each main story, they have like an about, and does it all right there. So there's not, at the end of the book, there really isn't any extras, because the extras are buried within the book, which I actually really appreciate. I mean, I don't mind if they have like an art section or some other stuff at the end. That's totally fine. But if it relates to the story, I like when they include it within the book, even if it's a chronological, like omnibus or typical, you know, like Marvel, DC, whatever omnibus as it goes through the issues. I like to have that little bit of pause between each issue, and see the stuff pertinent to that specific issue right there. So I love that they did that. Here we got some sweet holiday stuff. Holidays are coming up. This book would be great as a holiday gift. It's probably not too late. You're cutting it close for the holidays if you're wanting to pick this up for yourself or a friend. But man, look at this art. It is just, let's get that focused. Come on, there we go. It is just gorgeous coloring and lines. They had to have done some restoration to this, but it just looks just like my childhood coming back to life. The color, like, I'm not seeing any distortion or funky colors or anything like that. It all looks so good, so original. I mean, I don't have the originals to read and to compare it to or anything like that, but at just, you know, first sight and first look through, I've looked through this, gone through this multiple times now, but it doesn't, and nothing looks odd to me that I've spotted. All the coloring and shading looks perfect. All the lines look just gorgeous. Nothing looks, you know, digitized or pixelated or anything like that. These covers are just so nice looking. I love them. Just, yeah, the stone that turns all metals to gold. Seems like something Scrooge would be into. Yeah, so really nice book, really gorgeous. Like I said, 384 pages, with most of it, the vast majority of it being actual story. You know, like there's a page or two here or there that's in about, but then it goes, you know, title page, and boom, we're back into it. It is really nice. They did not spare any expense. Here, we're in the middle of the book here, almost. Here, let's go back to the middle of the book about. There we go. And that's not the middle of the book at all. I don't know what's going on with me. Let's get to the middle. And it's got a decent little eye hole in there. So it lays relatively flat, which is nice. Like, you get that down. I've stretched this once or twice. If you're interested in how to stretch a new book so it doesn't fall apart on you, I have a video on that. It was actually one of my very first videos on my channel. So you can check that out. And yeah, and it's got a great little, I forgot to show this. Come on out of there, fella. There we go. Got a great ribbon. I love when they match the ribbon to the look of the book. Sometimes they just toss a black ribbon in there and it doesn't look good, or a red ribbon. You're like, that's out of place. That doesn't look right. So I love when they match it, and that definitely matches. Yeah, so I'm not going to flip through every single page in here because you really get the idea, and it's gorgeous. It's a great book. I'm so excited to be able to sit down and let my kids read this and go through it with them. My 8-year-old daughter loves Calvin and Hobbes. I'm so excited for her to be able to read some Uncle Scrooge and, you know, Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Can't say all three of their names if I don't say them in the correct order. Otherwise, I'm not going to get it. Or my previous video on the Peanuts. Cannot wait. I still need to pick up like that really nice hardcover slipcase edition they've had forever of Calvin and Hobbes, but we have a whole bunch of those old school Calvin and Hobbes trade paperbacks. So my daughter has been tearing through those and rereading them and rereading them. Finally had to take them away because that's all she would read, and we needed to have her read some other stuff too. So she was not pleased, but you know what? It's okay. She'll get them back one of these days soon. But hey, I'm very excited. And it's cool. You can see how much the art changes. Like I mean, there's detail in that, but then you switch to this side and you can just see the smoke and like all the feathers and here. I mean, that has some stuff, but you can kind of see it's a lot more blocky. And then as it gets later on, it gets way more detailed, and there's just way more in each page, which is pretty cool to see that art progression too. Carl Barks in there. So, and then, you know, to close it out, you got one last thing on that story, and then boom, just the editorial staff. Editor David Gerstein and Justin Allen Spencer is the designer from Fantagraphics. These guys did awesome. I gotta hand it to them. Looks so good. Great presentation. I actually think I like this scale book better than the Life and Times of Scrooge, because that book is so huge. It's a wee bit unwieldy, but yeah, this book, phenomenal book. And you know, at what is it, under $100 at OPB, definitely an easy buy as a holiday gift or a birthday gift for that nostalgia looking friend or family of yours or yourself who loves these old school tunes. All right, so that was a quick look at Carl Barks's Uncle Scrooge, Scrooge McDuck's Diamond Jubilee Edition. Super cool book. Very excited to have that. I've been doing a lot of looks at the, you know, like the, what's it called? The Scrooge McDuck, Complete Life and Times, the Diamond Jubilee now. My last video prior to this one was about the Peanuts 1990s editions. I've been absolutely loving these nostalgia trips. Going back, you know, I grew up on those cartoons. I grew up reading the comics. Love going back and looking at these books. I'm so excited to be able to share these books with my kids so that they can grow up reading these too and enjoy these characters that I grew up loving also. If you're interested in picking it up, make sure to hit up Organic Price Books. Use code Omnibuddy to get your book with $2 off every order, or use code Omnibuddy, ship it together, all one word, to get 5% off your entire order of 3 or more books. They will all ship together, so be careful if you're ordering anything pre-ordering. You're gonna wait till that last book comes out. But anyways, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, do all those things. But the most important thing to do is comment. What is the cartoon that is the biggest nostalgia trip for you? And that you would hope that they would do an edition like this. Fantagraphics been doing some awesome stuff. What are you hoping they do next? Let me know in the comments. All right, take care, stay cool.